Hello again everyone, I hope you are having a great week and weekend. So in this video I'm going to have a bit of a look at a company I'm very strongly considering adding to my portfolio for the long term, that being Palantir Technologies, ticker symbol PLTR. So Palantir has actually been in existence since 2003, however it has only been a publicly traded company for just under a year, listing the existing investors' shares through a direct listing in October of last year. Palantir initially listed at $7.25 per share, giving the company a $16 billion valuation by market cap. The stock in its 9 months of being quoted has seen an all-time high price of $45 in January this year. However, since then it has declined to a lower level of $21.81, still representing almost 3 times the value of its initial quotation. What I'm hoping to get into with this video is explore whether or not this is a good investment to be getting into, and we'll try to provide an answer for what I intend to do with this stock going forward, aka whether I buy it, use it for day trading, or just steer clear from it altogether. To do this, I will dive into what has been going on with the company in recent times, have a little bit of a look at some trends in their books, as well as do a bit of a technical analysis on the stock's recent trading history. If you are an investor or trader of Palantir stock, let me know in the comments, why do you like this stock? Or if you are not an investor, let me know why not. I'm genuinely interested to hear what others think of the company. I'm genuinely interested to hear what other people think about this company. Starting with a bit of a technical analysis, I've put up a daily chart that covers the entire time Palantir has been listed, with a few indicators that I would like to comment on briefly. To start with, we can see that in January, the stock reached its all-time high of $45. This marked the start of the period of peak trading volume. It is also worth noting this was also the time when there was a strong rally in many tech-related stocks, which I think is worth pointing out. The trading volume has since declined from this time. However, there still appears to be reasonably strong trading interest, though it has been tapering. Friday's trade still saw more than 17 million Palantir securities exchange hands. This recent decline in trade is properly reflected in the RSI, which is good for the stock as it's behaving in a predictable manner. Also, looking at the recent movements in the RSI, the score is currently close to the 30 mark, meaning that it is potentially a good time to get into the stock as it's edging towards conditions of being oversold. Ideally, you would snatch up the stock when the RSI falls below that 30 mark, when there has been no negative news, especially if I were or you were simply looking to use the stock for trading rather than longer term investment. That aside, buying at a low point in the RSI can represent buying towards the bottom of a price cycle. The main point I'm trying to make here is that it is potentially a good time to be looking to buy the stock, as you are more likely to pick up a more favorable price. Just very quickly, here is the latest trading data snapshot for the stock from Friday's trade. We can see that there were 17 million shares exchanged. Interestingly, the average volume historically is still at 51 million shares per day. However, I dare say that number is going to trend down further as the stock has been listed for an even longer period of time and the initial hype around a new investment has actually faded away. The other 2 points I want to bring your attention to here are the market cap at $41 billion. This is kind of reassuring to know that we are not dealing with a small company, and in fact it means the company is almost in the top 200 largest American companies by market cap. In fact, it's only one positive trading day away. And when it comes to trading, there's often a degree of security and stability with companies of such scale. The other data point I want to highlight is that this source, Yahoo Finance, has placed a 1-year target estimate of $23 on the stock, which represents about 10% upside on the current stock price. Back to the chart and zooming in on the more recent trading history, I've placed 2 lines marking the most recent high point, which was achieved on the 28th of June at $27.50. This actually corresponded with the period when the stock had last entered oversold territory based on the RSI data. Similarly, the low point on the 11th of May, where the stock touched down at $17.05, marks the last time the stock fell into oversold territory. Incidentally, this is also the lowest price point the share has reached in 2021. So for now, I think these 2 points mark a decent channel which the stock is trading between at the moment and can be good for gauging a good entry point for the stock. So that leaves the question, why do I think now may be a good time to buy the stock rather than waiting until the price may drop further towards the $17 mark again? Well, based off recent trading data, it may not actually reach that low point again, and the reason I think this is threefold. Firstly, this $17 year-to-date low may be an outlying trading event, and if you look at other recent low points, firstly on the 20th of April, and in this past week, we can draw a line through this daily candlestick chart that shows that there is actually another point of low resistance at this $21.20 share price. This point has been tested a few times recently in a trading period where there has been moments of macro level low market sentiment and has held out, as symbolized by the lower candlestick wicks. When the line has been breached in recent trade, it has not done so with much conviction, and prices have generally settled back above this mark. Secondly, as previously mentioned, the RSI is currently close to its lowest level since the stock hit the year-to-date low in May, which is actually the only time the stock has ever hit oversold territory based on the daily chart history of the stock. So the fact that it is lower at the moment perhaps furthers the idea that it is now a good time to buy. And finally, the reason that I don't think the stock will get much lower at this point in time is that there has not been any negative news for the company to suggest further pullbacks in stock valuation. In fact, as we will see very soon, there has actually been some rather bullish news which, if executed well, will likely only improve the company's fortunes. But before I cover that development, I just want to have a brief look at some of the trends in their financial records. So let's move on to that very quickly. Having a quick look at some of the data in Palantir's interim quarterly income statement, two items that are worth highlighting are the growth in revenue that has been growing from quarter to quarter since the company went public. This is interesting because the business model of the company has historically been to deal with a small number of big clients, including big businesses and the government, as they were the only organizations that could probably afford to use the big data solutions that this company offers. However, given the nature of Palantir's clientele, what has been noted by many is the large uptick in selling and admin expenses since going public. The values of this item have been almost matching the revenue earned from the corresponding period, and in fact, the last quarter before going public, it was more than double. So the question is, why is Palantir spending so much on selling and admin? The obvious answer here is that they are trying to increase their client base, but so far there has not been a return to match that expense, which is on the surface a little bit worrying. However, given the multi-year nature of the client contracts that Palantir usually have, and the fact that each corresponding period there has been an increase in revenues, perhaps the strategy is paying off for the longer term, and this is just the short-term pain of wearing these expenses. Another pleasing note is that the selling and admin expenses have actually been trending down in recent quarters. This leads me to Palantir's latest developments, which signify a move which could potentially scale up the business exponentially by trying to have their products adopted by more mainstream clients. So not just serving big government and large corporate entities, which they have historically targeted as the core of their business. I will link this Seeking Alpha article in the description, but here are the summary points. So Palantir's latest move looks bullish as hell. Recently, Palantir announced that it was launching Foundry for Builders, an initiative to get early stage startups using its Foundry data platform. The development is bullish for the stock because it shows that the company is moving away from its reliance on government contracts and towards a client base with more growth. Palantir's growth could continue or even accelerate if it becomes a leading data platform supplier for startups. So Palantir plans to offer the platform initially to businesses connected with their existing clients and is trialing it with a few startups. There is merit in offering the service to startups. If they are able to make better use of their data early on, the chances of longer term success may vastly improve for these companies. At the same time, the platform, if used by established businesses, could only help to improve their efficiency and competitiveness, as well as allowing them to identify and execute upon growth opportunities spotted through data. The article also raises the point that while Palantir is not profitable yet, the company already has very high revenues, and the fact that it has no real serious competitors in the space that they operate in at this stage. The article also raises the point that while Palantir is not yet profitable, the company already has very high revenues, and the fact that it has no serious competitors in the space at this stage gives it the potential to monopolize the space. So there is a lot of upside for Palantir, especially if the Foundry for Builders platform catches on, which could have the ripple effect of more businesses looking to utilize the strengths of Palantir's already existing Foundry platform. I think this initial rolling out of the offering is going to be keenly observed by many, both potential clients of Palantir as well as investors, and is therefore the potential catalyst for high stock price growth in the near future. The article does try to balance out its overly bullish sentiment with covering the potential risks of this move by Palantir. Some risks they identify are their commercial services not taking off, the prospect of competition entering, and the potential of government regulatory changes or regulatory risk. Like I said before, I'll link the article in the video description. I guess the big question here is how likely are smaller companies going to come to be clients of Palantir? If Palantir does see success, what sort of rivalry may they see enter their space? Can they monopolize company big data analytics, a core business principle of their founder Peter Thiel? Only time will tell. So some final thoughts and reflections on Palantir. Clearly the company has strong revenue figures and is demonstrating clear growth in this area. While it is not yet profitable, this has been attributed to high expenses, particularly selling expenses in recent times. Though pleasingly there has been a bit of a decline in this in the past 6 months. I suppose if you combine that with the exciting growth prospects, however, we may see a further uptick in selling expenses again. Based on the stock analysis that we did, the stock is currently trending in a lower price range and may present a good buying opportunity. Personally, I'm feeling bullish and believe it is a good time to buy, and I will be attempting to start accruing the stock through my trading. If there is a potential for a wider macro market dip, that might represent an even better opportunity to move into this space. Therefore, I won't jump in with a big one-off purchase, but we'll try to slowly accrue it just through regular trading.
Shut up and take my money!
Anyway, what do you guys think about the stock? Is it a good time to get in? Do you think Palantir's attempt to get into the mainstream will be successful? If so, how long do you think until the company sees that success and becomes profitable? That's all I have for this one. I hope you found it useful or interesting. If so, I would encourage you to leave a like on the video, as this is a great way to help out a small content producer such as myself. Also, if you are interested in seeing other stock trading or finance related videos, I would encourage you to subscribe to the channel. By doing so, you are doing the added good of supporting the social enterprise I'm planning to turn this channel into going forward. What this means is that simply by watching videos on this channel, you will be passively helping out with some good causes which I want to connect the channel to in a business sense going forward. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. May the markets trade in your favor. Cheers.